Hey, hey, hey. So one of the things I like to use is ceramic. Like this is a ceramic cup, and this is a ceramic pan. So what I have in here is dish detergent, a little bleach, a little baking soda, because it helps to get rid of the dark spots. So then I put it on the stove for a few minutes and I let it boil. Again, it helps to clean the pot some. I know that some people add vinegar. I've done that before too. But I didn't feel like doing all that scrubbing, so I just kind of did it the fast and easy way. Okay, so I have my electric kettle here. Let me put this camera down a little bit so you can see, okay? So here's my electric tea kettle, and I'm about to do a pour over. So I forgot to get my filters out before I started the video. Let me just pause. Okay, so these are the unbleached ones. And I'm going to take it and open it up. And this is my pour over. Maker. I don't know what else to call it. I forget what it's actually called. So anyhow, you put it on top of the cup. And I'm going to pour a little bit of water just so that it sticks. And it doesn't move around. Now this was a gift. So these are ground coffee beans. I don't drink coffee as often as I used to, because I used to drink coffee every day. But I have since cut back because I know that the caffeine is not good, but I like the taste of coffee, so I still have coffee sometimes. Don't judge me. But here's the coffee that I'm using, and it is coffee beans. So I have a coffee grinder. I am going to pour some of the beans in the grinder. And I am making a mess. Okay, I'm going to plug her in. Put the lid back on. And you just press this down a few times. I shouldn't say a few times, for a few minutes. And you have ground coffee. So now I'm going to pour this coffee in there. And I didn't use all of it. You can actually store this in a container in the refrigerator to keep it fresh. I'm not going to do that right this second. So now that we have done that, you want to pour, and it's supposed to be a certain temperature, but we're just going to go with the temperature that I have. So you go a once around. Okay, that's what I call once around. And you start brewing the coffee. Ideally, you should let some of it start to fall into the cup. I don't know if you can see. There's a little space in between. I can see it. You probably can't. Like if you look in here, but anyway. Then you want to put this on. And you should ideally line it up with this handle, because there's a little notch right here. I don't know if you can see that. So you want to align that notch up, and then you want to pour the rest of your water in this part of the reservoir. Right, and you want to let that go down. And this is a scooper, but I always just pour. So ideally you want to use 2 scoops of coffee. of coffee beans, especially if you're just making an individual cup and you don't want it to be too strong. But I didn't do that. And I'm fine with it. That was a little over 2 scoops. But again, I'm fine with it. Okay. Then as the water starts to seep down into the coffee, you want to put the lid on to keep the heat in, keep it warm. And then I'm going to push this to the side and let that do its thing. And I'm going to put my coffee grinder to the side. Again, I don't have a whole lot of countertop space right now, right? Things always change and improve for the better. This is peppermint. I love a good peppermint mocha. And so I am going to use I also have this matcha. Maybe I'll make a matcha drink one day. And cinnamon's good in your coffee too. I like to sprinkle it on top. But I'm going to use this 100% cocoa powder. And you can make this drink hot or cold. For the sake of the video, although I'm brewing it in another cup, I'm just going to demonstrate what I would normally do. I'm just going to take 1 spoonful because this is a small cup. That's like an 8-ounce cup, right? And I am going to use my peppermint. And I typically don't measure, but I'll use the cap. So a cap full of peppermint extract. I like to sweeten with agave or my date sugar because it's healthier, but you use whatever you like. You don't have to follow the recipe to an exact T. Don't overcomplicate it or overthink it. Whatever you normally use in your coffee, use that in your coffee. But you get better flavor from the coffee if you do a pour over, right? So my pour over is basically complete because I see the dripping. You can see that. That means that's basically done. And here is my cup of coffee. So now, because I don't want the coffee to get cold, I'm going to put my milk in first. And this is the milk that I use. It's basically just unsweetened almond milk. And it only has 3 ingredients. Filtered water, organic almonds, and Himalayan pink salt. And of course the almond. Well, I said that, almonds. Right? So if you have nut allergies, you might want to use oat milk, rice milk, hemp milk, or one of the other milks if you do non-dairy. If you use regular milk or creamer, that's what you're going to use, right? And I'm going to loosen up the top and then shake it. Because natural products do settle, so I want to shake it up to get whatever has settled at the bottom. So now I'm going to pour some milk in. And I like to stir my cocoa powder. Oop, I'm making a mess. In with the milk and the peppermint, just so that it kind of blends well. You could also use a frother for those of you who have a frother. So it's almost like you're making chocolate milk. Just want to blend the powder pretty well before you pour the coffee in. So you don't just have like clumps of cocoa powder. You can use chocolate syrup. Again, whatever you would normally use, you use that. So if you normally use cocoa syrup, chocolate syrup, then you would use that to make your peppermint mocha. That's basically what I'm making, a peppermint mocha. And I like to clean as I go. Okay, so now I'm going to pour my coffee in. And I'm going to, and really, that's all the coffee that's left. So, although this is a taller cup, it's skinny. So this is tall and skinny, and this is kind of short and fat or wide. Okay, so now I'm going to stir that. And I normally don't add extra sugar because I don't want to. But now, I feel like I don't have enough milk. Okay, so I'm going to pour this back in here to give me more room. That didn't really work so well, huh? I just said it was the same amount. Hold on, let me get a bigger cup. This video is not sponsored. So I'm going to pour this in here. And now I have this Italian cold foam. It's Italian sweet cream. And so this will act as one of my sugars. And although I do the non-dairy milk, I do sometimes like whipped cream. So the Italian, this cold foam, a lot of the coffee shops are using it now. And they normally put it on top like that, but I'm gonna stir mine in. Because again, this is gonna be kind of like more cream. Now I taste the sweetness, right? Now I'm gonna add more on top. And because I just feel like being extra, I'm going to add whipped cream. And this is the Whole Foods brand. Again, this video is not sponsored. So that's sweet enough for me. But of course, if you add sugar, by all means, add whatever sugar, agave, that you know, stevia, whatever you normally add to your coffee or tea, you can do that. Because you can even use this cold foam on like a chai tea, a matcha tea. It just makes it a little creamier. And because I like milk in my tea anyway. So it's just a good way to add a little bit more sweetness and like some creaminess to your drink. Okay, so that's this. Sometimes I make this drink cold, so obviously you would add ice. I would add ice before I put the whipped cream in the cold foam, but this is it for me today. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you decide to make yourself a peppermint mocha, these are the things that you can... Oh, I forgot my cinnamon. Love y'all.